Dorothea Lange, the gifted photographer who transitioned from a portrait photographer in San Francisco to the woman who created so many timeless photographs of the migrants for the Farm Security Administration, including the most famous of all, the Migrant Mother. Dorothea didn't use an iPhone to take these pictures. Instead, a 20-pound Graflex waist-level viewfinder camera. As you can see, it was a migration of thousands from the Great Plains to the promised land of California. Dorothea captioned many of her pictures, including this one, which she titled Damaged Child. Dorothea was a gifted artist. I love the composition of this picture of the mother with her 3 children. Her pictures capture the misery and trials and tribulations of the migrants. The story goes for the Migrant Mother that Dorothea drove past the camp where they were picking peas, continued down the road a couple of miles and said, "Wait, I think I should go back and take some pictures." She took 6 shots, getting closer and closer with each one, finally creating the iconic picture of Florence Thompson titled The Migrant Mother.
I did not ask her name or her history. She told me her age, that she was 32. She said that she and her children had been living on frozen vegetables from the surrounding fields and birds that the children killed. She had just sold the tires from her car to buy food.
Here's Florence's story many, many years later.
And it is here we found Florence Thompson, who more than anyone else came to symbolize America's determination to survive those desperate times. Florence Thompson. She lives right over there in that trailer. No, you wouldn't recognize the name, but few people forget the face.
Me and my kids, we lived in tents and lived in bamboo houses and everything else, so I could make a living.
She was called the Mona Lisa of the 30s, a migrant mother whose picture haunted the nation. Florence Thompson was 27 years old when the Depression started. She had 5 children and was pregnant with another, and her husband was dead.
I chopped cotton in Fireball down there for 40 cents an acre. I picked cotton in Shafter for 50 cents a hundred, 40 cents a hundred. I'd hit that cotton field before daylight and stay there till it got so dark I couldn't see. And I didn't even weigh 100 pounds. I used to fill up them old 12-foot cotton sacks. I couldn't lift them. I'd have to drag them to the scales halfway across the field. And I picked all the way from 400 or 500 pounds of cotton a day.
Her children make more in 1 hour than their mother made all week. Daughter Catherine works in a turkey factory that can process 18,000 birds a day. Her sister Ruby raises birds, pigeons for the gourmet table. She and her husband now have things her mother never knew.
If she could have gave us all these material things, maybe she would have. But that I don't think would have replaced what she did give us. She gave us all a sense of worth that nobody owes us anything. We had pride you wouldn't believe. Because of the idea of someone feeling sorry for us. That we didn't want.
They did not have much, but they had each other.
Looking right here. Okay, that's one.
Florence Thompson kept the family together. Her 10 children and their grandchildren still live in her valley. And they still return for their father's family reunion. A father some of them never even knew.
It would be difficult for a mother today to raise 10 children like you did.
I don't think you could take a woman and put her out and do what I done to make a living. I don't think she could make it. Not the price of groceries and everything else. I really don't. And I worked in hospitals. I tend bar. I cooked. I worked in the field. So I done a little bit of everything to make a living for my kids.
Did you ever lose hope?
No. If I'd ever left hope, I'd never made it.
Florence Thompson, the Migrant Mona Lisa, an American classic. 30 years after that picture was taken, one of Florence Thompson's grandsons was in Vietnam. He saw the photograph hanging inside a GI's tent. The face had been printed black, and the black soldier who owned it swore she was black. Florence and her story had not yet been found. But that frozen moment of her life, that picture, writes its own story in each of us. The stroke she had this summer took her voice. The cancer took her from her trailer, but she is at home with her family, and they are trying to build back her strength for an operation. Doctors have told them there is little hope, but Florence Thompson knows something about hope. For today, Bob Dotson, NBC News.
Lange was known for the captions that she often attached to her pictures. Here's a few. Here are some of the pictures that she did for the Farm Security Administration. During World War II, she was asked to do the internment of the Japanese. Here's a link to the story about the internment. In her later years, she was honored with a large exhibit at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City. Go to YouTube and find Grab a Hunk of Lightning, produced by PBS, a great story about her life and work.